Hello fellow investor, welcome to the channel. In this video we're going to look at the earnings expectations for Citi. Citi is scheduled to report third quarter earnings on Tuesday, October 14th before the market open. I'll cover several topics to see how Citi is trading going into earnings and help set expectations moving forward. We will review the current price chart and trend charts along with some key valuation metrics. I'll also share my Citi portfolio holdings and performance. Let's get started.
Citigroup is scheduled to report third quarter earnings on Tuesday, October 14th before the market open. In the previous quarter, Citigroup reported revenue of $21.67 billion, beating revenue estimates by $706.36 million. Citigroup reported earnings of $2.04 per share, beating estimates by 45 cents per share. For this quarter, the revenue estimate is $21.16 billion with earnings of $1.93 per share. Over the last 90 days, 8 analysts raised estimates and 8 analysts lowered estimates. Citigroup meets or beats analysts' one-year forward estimates 55% of the time. Citigroup is showing negative relative strength going into the earnings. The options markets is pricing an implied move of plus or minus 5.6%.
The Citigroup daily one-year chart is showing a bit of a decline as we move into the earnings. They are trading below a downward sloping 20. Looks to be an upward sloping 50, but trading right at that value currently. And they're also trading above a 200-day moving average that is upward sloping. I do see that they have bearish RSI currently sitting at 45.28. They have been in positive territory for the PPO since the beginning of May, and they recently went into bearish territory, looks to be about 3 or 4 days ago. They do have a positive accumulation, a slight amount of distribution here over the last month or two. The money flow is currently negative. They have outperformed the S&P 500 by 32.51%. They've outperformed the XLF, which is the financial sector ETF, by 31.98%. They are outperforming the banking industry group by 22.75%, and that industry group is outperforming the S&P 500 by 7.98%. I do expect the banks to perform well in the fourth quarter, but they are showing a bit of weakness as we move into the earnings. Turning our attention to the 5-year weekly trend chart, we can see that they've had been performing above their long-term weekly averages since about December of 2023. Likewise for the medium-term averages, with the exception of a couple dips below those two, they're still looking pretty strong in the midterm. And as I pointed out on the other chart, they are showing a bit of weakness as we move into the earnings on the short term. We'll take a look at the valuation growth and profitability metrics from Seeking Alpha. We can see that C has a forward price to earnings ratio of 13.72 times compared to the sector median of 10.69 times. Their forward price to book is 0.85 compared to the sector median of 1.13. As far as growth, their expected revenue growth is 3.70% compared to the sector median of 7.34%, and their expected EPS growth rate is 34.33% compared to the sector median at 1.11%. Net income margin is 19.47%, compared to the sector median of 23%. When we look at fast graphs, we can see that Citigroup is trading at a blended PE of 13.28 times. They have an EPS yield of 7.53%, which indicates good value. They have a dividend yield of 2.56% over this 13-year period that is shown. Citi has an adjusted operating earnings growth rate of 13.72. Fast Graphs calculates their fair value ratio at 15 times, and their normal PE is 10.85 times, which is the multiple that the market applies to Citi. The fair value line is the orange line that's on the graph, and the normal PE or the market multiple is shown on the blue line. When we look at their earnings history over this time period, we can see they had a few years where they had contracting EPS growth. 2024, it accelerated to 47%. This year is expected to be 25%, and the next 2 years, 33% and 19% are what the analysts are estimating for those two forward-looking years. So Citi is trading below their fair value, but trading above their market multiple. If we look at the current price and extend that out to 2027, we could expect a total rate of return of 41.23% or 16.8% annualized. Turning to my portfolio, holding Citi is a relatively new position in my equity portfolio, and it's one that I'm building. I entered into this trade in July of 2025. My current shares I have at an average price of 91.06%. I have dividends of $15 so far, which has added 0.5% to the return. Haven't traded any options on this one, but my total return so far is 3.7%, and the total return annualized is 17.1%. I've had 5 entries into this particular trade. 4 are currently winning trades. 1 is a losing trade. So that gives me a gain-loss ratio of 17.99 to 1 and a win rate of 80%. I expect to continue building this position over the next quarter. If you find these earnings previews helpful, I would appreciate you subscribing to the channel so you are alerted to future videos as they get posted. I would also be grateful if you like the video to help support this channel. I wish you the best in your investment journey, and remember to trade well.